Let's talk more about the impact the tariffs might have on you. We'll bring in our guest tonight. Karla Dennis is a tax professional, runs her own firm, Karla Dennis and Associates, and she's live from the West Coast, up late with us here tonight on the Final Five. Karla, thanks for joining us tonight. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Okay, so look, we've talked a lot about the political ramifications of tariffs, but I want to get... There's a lot of people watching this, and you know, I don't know if they really care about the back and forth between world leaders, but they certainly care a lot about what they have to pay out of their own pocket. And as we've seen these tariffs come down over the last several months, have you started to see people maybe changing their ways, changing their approaches, whether they be a personal, from a personal perspective or a small business perspective?
Absolutely. Consumers are really concerned about the price increases that they are facing and will continue to be faced with as these tariffs are imposed. They are certainly looking at tightening up their budgets because we're in a time with just so much uncertainty around what they're going to be paying for next. And business owners as to the same. They are trying to manage their business in such an uncertain economy that it affects how they do business.
We're at a point now, too, where we're looking at some more of these tariffs possibly taking effect in August. And you know, a lot of people, I think, in the media, we always look at things as they approach the holiday season and people start getting ready for the holidays and how that might impact retail, how that might impact gift giving, things along those lines. As we keep pushing this deadline down the road a little bit, does that sort of erase those concerns that maybe people might have to start their Christmas shopping a little bit earlier?
I think so. I think, you know, we're kind of in this situation where we look at history, right? It talked about having these tariffs, and then the tariffs were kind of backed off a little bit, and the markets went a little crazy, and people got scared. But I think people aren't as afraid and timid as they were in the past. I think that people are taking advantage of sales that are going on now. I've had some of my business customers talk about what they're purchasing. I've had some of my regular consumer customers talk about that they're going to do some of their Christmas shopping now so they don't have to be maybe concerned about the risk of higher prices later on in the fall, potentially.
Something that I've seen a lot of, and I'm not sure if you've seen this out on the West Coast as well, but a lot of car companies in their commercials have been saying we're not going to pass the cost of these tariffs along to you, because I think that's in the back of a lot of people's minds when you're looking at major purchases like cars, and if you want to get a car from Japan, if you want to get a car from Germany, I think the tariffs are top of mind there. But is it reasonable to expect a lot of these companies to absorb the cost or pass them along to consumers?
I think the companies are going to absorb the cost to a degree. These companies are in business to make a profit, and they're going to absorb the cost depending on what their profit and loss is looking like. But they won't be able to sustain absorbing that cost if the tariffs continue to increase and they continue to have to buy higher. That's just basic economics of running a business. There's just no way that can be sustainable.
In terms of the uncertainty that we talked about, and it's one thing to look at it from a consumer perspective, but you're running small businesses, and I've spoken with some business owners here in D.C., toy stores, for example. A lot of these small boutique toy stores are concerned about the impact that tariffs would have on them. Have we started to see a ripple effect in terms of these companies and these small businesses maybe having to consider either cutting back or shutting their doors altogether, or is it still too early to tell?
Oh, no, we are already seeing the impact on small businesses because a lot of businesses, when they were talking about the tariffs, they pre-stocked their shelves as much as they could get from a shipping perspective to have it on the shelf. But now, as we're going into more uncertainty, it's one thing to have it on your shelf, it's something else to be able to sell it. So there are a lot of concerns about them being able to sell their products. A lot of the businesses are trying to do what they can to lure their customers in. They are cutting back. They are laying off. I haven't said that there's businesses that have actually shut their doors yet, but it's a matter of time.
Yeah, I think you're right from that perspective. Just about out of time here. I know that you are a professional that charges people for your expertise in that realm. So I'm going to ask for maybe just a little bit of free advice for anybody watching right now who's looking ahead and looking at making big purchases. What's your best advice to them for the time being?
Absolutely. My best advice right now is to really take a look at your budget and make very strategic decisions. Things that you're thinking about purchasing, I suggest going ahead and purchasing it now if it's within your budget, because you know what you have to pay for it right now. We don't know what we're going to have to pay for it 3 months from now, 6 months from now. So if you can afford it now and it's within your budget, go ahead and make those purchases.
Karla Dennis, we appreciate you. Good to see you again.